Well, the first thing is you have the basics of going to a lake, figuring out what you're looking for your structure and cover elements, given a high point values where you can go out there and find these fish. One of the real important things is understanding what your tools, your BBZ-1, the set of them, are capable of. I have 3 of them. I have a floater, a slow sink, and a fast sink. The mechanics of it are all the same. The baits have 2 hooks, 2 Gamakatsu 1/0s, sticky sharp hooks, 90-pound split rings, 3 section baits. It has a 1-knock. All of them have a 1-knock. A ball bearing in the back. Now, depending on how fast you wind it, the louder the knock is. You slow it down, it's not going to be that audible. Okay, the key on a floater, there's a couple things that you want to think about. You try to tear down the water column. Are the fish committing on the top, middle, bottom? The easiest way to figure out what your tool is going to do is use the floater first. What you want to do is you're going to look down these bank lines, either down a point, a bluff wall, secondary little points with brush or sticks hanging out of it, toolie edges, and if you're going to target the fish on top water, you make your cast and you throw it. I'm going to throw it past the stick right here. And the key is when it hits the water, no matter if I'm fishing towards the bank or throwing it way on an outside point, as far as I can out for either largemouth spawning, pre-spawn, post-spawn, stripers, or any other type of game fish. When I throw out a bait, a floater, and it hits the water, just the coils from my line will actually make that bait start to move. So on a super long cast with the floater, I can reel this fast. And all I'm basically doing is keeping up with the coils in my line. So 1 revolution every 2 seconds. If you do that, it's going to take you about 2.5 minutes to get that bait in. For the floater, the slower you wind it, the better that bait's going to work because it was designed for a slow wake bait. Now in this situation, I'm going to throw it past a little brush pile. Now when I'm winding it, this is how slow I'm actually winding the floater on the surface. And if you can see the bait over there coming up to this bush, you can see it V-waking. That's as slow as you have to wind it to make this bait work. Now the thing about this bait, the other characteristics of it, is when I get it up to key elements, key structure or cover elements, you can either hard directional change it, and that bait will actually do a 180-degree turn, and you could either do that by ripping your rod tip down and slacking your line and making that bait turn around, or if you want a more subtle directional change, all you have to do is wind it and give it a quick little turn on your reel, and that'll pop that lure around. The only thing is when you use that reel handle to make a directional change, you have to drop your rod tip back to give it slack so it can kick around. Now understanding how this bait works on the surface is the key for understanding the entire system, because each bait is pretty similar on how it works through the water column. So if I have a floating bait and I can throw it out here like this, and I want to do hard directional changes, and you watch this bait up right there. To real subtle directional changes, where that bass is coming right up underneath it. See that little bass right there, already looking at it. Real subtle. Here comes another bass. So understanding how that floating bait works and all the capabilities of it will set you in a better mind frame when you start using the system and you go to a slow sink and the fast sink underwater. You know the basic characteristics of this lure, how it works.